Hey guys, so in this video we are going to see view transformation, that is windowing and clipping. So first of all we will see that what is windowing. The method for selecting and enlarging portions of a drawing is called windowing. That is, suppose we have a drawing, say we have a random figure over here, and suppose we draw a little box over here. That is, we imagine a box, then we select this image and view it somewhere else. So this part over here will be known as a window. And the process of taking this part and displaying it somewhere else is called as windowing. That is, we select a part and enlarge the portions of a drawing. So this is called windowing. Now let us discuss what is clipping. The technique of not showing that part of the drawing in which one is not interested is called clipping. So suppose that we have this figure again and we have taken this part to be displayed. Now the rest of the part is not being displayed. So this means that this is the part in which we are not interested and this part is clipped, or we can say that this method is called as clipping. That is, this part has been clipped, whereas this part over here has been taken to the other point and displayed. That is, this part that we have taken of the object, that is this part, will now be displayed over here. That is over on a screen in a small box. That is, we have selected this part, so only this part will be displayed. The rest of the object will be clipped out. So this is what is called windowing and this is what is called clipping. And the object that which will be displayed over in the box will be called as the viewport. Now let me explain it to you that what is window and what is a viewport. As we saw here that this part is called the window. That is, this is the window. So sometimes we are only interested in a particular portion of an image. So in that case we would imagine a box about the portion of the object that will only display what is enclosed in the box. And such a box is called a window. That is, let us take an image again. Suppose we have a triangle and we consider a window. That is, let us consider this window. That is, this is our window. Now we only want this part of the object to be displayed on the viewport. So this is our screen, and on the screen we have another box which is called as the viewport, on which the selected part of the object will be displayed. So this is the viewport. And over here the selected part of the image will be displayed, that is this part of the triangle. And the rest of the triangle, that is this part, has been clipped out. So the process of doing a window, of making a window and displaying it on the viewport is called as windowing. And this box is known as a window, and on which we display the part of the selected object is called the viewport. And the part of the object which is left out, which is not displayed, that is, it is called as clipping. That is, we have clipped the rest of the part of the object. Now let us understand what is a viewport in detail. Now it might happen that we do not wish to use the entire screen for the display of the object. So we would like to imagine a box on the screen and have the image confined in that box. Such a box on the screen is called as the viewport. That is, let us take this another example. Suppose we have a suppose we have a rectangle, and in that we have another circle with it. That is another rectangle in it. So this is our image. Now let us consider a small window over here. That is, this is the window, and by window we mean that this part of the object will be displayed and the rest of the part of the object will be clipped out. So now we will display this object part on the screen in a separate box. Instead of using the whole screen, we will be using a separate box to display the part of the object that we have selected, that is this part. So this small portion on the screen in which we display the selected part of the object is called as the viewport. So this is what is written over here, that instead we would like to imagine a box on the screen and have the image confined in that box instead of using the entire screen. So this box is known as the viewport. So now let us understand certain properties. Suppose we have an object. Suppose this is an object and we like to draw a window over here. That is, a window has been drawn, and this is our screen, and we would like to display the selected part, that is the window, We would like to display the selected part of the object on the screen. So the box that we will create on the screen to display the selected part of the object will be called as the viewport. Now suppose if a window is changed, that is we are considering the same object. Now suppose if the window is changed, now suppose that we make the window over here, but the viewport remains the same. So now what will be the difference in the image that we will view in the viewport? The image that we will view in the viewport will now look like this. That is like this, because only this portion has been selected. So by this we mean that if the window is changed, and the viewport remains the same, then we will see a different image at the same position. Now let me explain it to you that what I mean by this. Suppose we have taken this window 1, that is it is window 1, and this is viewport 1. Now the window is changed, that is now we are considering a second window, that is window 2, but the viewport remains the same, that is we are still taking the same viewport. So by the statement that I have written below, we mean that a different image will be displayed of the object. That is now a different image is being displayed, but the position at which the image is being displayed is the same. That is the position is the same. So this is our first property. Now we have our second property. Suppose we have this object again, and this is our window, and this is our screen in which we have a viewport. So our image that will be displayed will be like this. So this is the selected image of the object which has been displayed in the viewport. This is the screen and this is the viewport. Now let us consider that the window remains the same, but the viewport, let us say VP, is changed. So can you guess what will happen over here? This, yes, you must have guessed it right, that when the window remains the same but the position of the VP or the viewport is changed, suppose now we are considering the viewport over here, the image that will be displayed will be same as the previous one. The only difference is that now the image is present at a different location. Initially we had considered the viewport to remain the same, and now we have considered the window to remain the same. So whenever window remains the same, the image will always be the same, because window decides what is being displayed, and the position will be depending on the viewport. Suppose if we change the viewport, then the position will change, and suppose if we change the window, then the image that will be displayed is changed. So these are the two properties that you have to keep in mind. So suppose we have to perform a numerical in which we have given a window in which we have an object and its coordinates, and we have to display it on a viewport. So the transformations that we have to follow consists of 3 steps. Now this is very important that you remember these steps. So the first step is to translate. Now what do we understand by that? Suppose we have an image window. Suppose we have a window and it is located over here. Suppose at some random coordinate xy, say x1, y1, and we have the origin over here which is 0, 0. So first of all, in order to display, suppose this has an object image like this. Now suppose we want to display this image in a viewport, and the viewport is present somewhere over here. Now we desire to display this image in this viewport, that is, this is the VP. So first of all, what we will do, instead of directly displaying it in the viewport, we will first bring this window to the origin. That is, first of all, we will perform the transformation of translation. That is, first of all, we will translate the window from its given coordinate to the origin, and then we will do scaling. Now you must remember that the size of the window, that is the window, and the viewport, that is VP, will not be the same always. Suppose this is a bigger size and this is a smaller size, and the image that we have to display of the object is this. So the image that will be displayed over here should be of the smaller size as compared to what it was in the window viewport. So in order to do that, we will scale down the image. Scale down the image if the image to be displayed is smaller. Now suppose this was our viewport, and sorry, this was our window. Suppose this is our window and the viewport is something like this, that is, it is bigger than the window, and this is the object part which has to be displayed. So the object which has to be displayed over here, that the image of the object which has to be displayed over here will be much larger as compared to the one displayed in the window. So in order to do that, we will have to scale up the image. Now this is scaled down and this was scale up. We have to consider these two criteria depending on the question. So you must have understood now what scaling is. Now secondly, what we will do translation. That is, this is the last part. Now in translation, what we will do, let me again draw the coordinates. What we have done till now, let me explain it to you. This was our window. First we brought it to the origin. That is our first step. Then now suppose this was the size of the object and we scaled it. So this is our step 2, that is scaling, and this was translating. And now the last step that we have to do is we have to display the scaled object in the viewport. Suppose the viewport is given over here. So now what we will do, we will simply translate the scaled object into the viewport. That is, we will bring this object, scaled object image, onto the viewport to display it. That is, this is the VP and this is the window. So this is what we mean by the last scaling operation, that is last translation operation, that is we bring the scaled image of the object onto the viewport. That is, this is the last part in the scaling in which we bring the scaled object to the viewport position. And here we first of all take the window to the origin, then scale the image scaling. Then what we do is we simply move that scaled image to the coordinates of the viewport. So in the equation, the coordinates of the window as well as the viewport will be given to us. So this is it in view transformation. And guys, if you want me to discuss an example or a numerical on this technique, that is view transformation, just write it in the comment section question, and I would understand that you need a question on the view transformation technique. And guys, if you are able to understand the techniques or the concepts discussed in this video, that is windowing, clipping, and what is a window, what is a viewport, and then how do we convert an image from the window to a viewport, that is, we discussed the 3 steps. That is, first we have to do translation, in which we bring the window to the origin. Then we have to do scaling, in which we scale up or scale down the image of the object, and then we bring the scaled image to the viewport. So these are the 3 steps that we discussed. So guys, if you are able to understand all the 3 steps and all the concepts discussed over here, just write wow in the comment section, and it would be great to know that you were able to understand it. So guys, this is it for this one. See you in the next video.